2, 1, go!
I just realized we didn't actually plan out who was gonna do the intro, and we just started recording.
All right, this can actually be in the podcast, but
I know.
You can start as always. Actually, how about I start since you did it last time?
Okay. All right, Suar, you do the intro.
Welcome to the Set Count, your source for tournament news.
Wrong.
I don't know the rest. And set to the tune of your speakers, I'm your host, Suar, and I'm joined by my Chicago brethren, Unrivaled Sage.
Yep, we're here, and nailing intros.
Nailing intros like I know what I'm doing. How are you doing, Sage?
I'm doing good, my man. I am pulling some 90-hour work weeks, prepping for Smash and Splash, but
90 hours?
Yeah, I think I clocked in around 90 hours this past
there
2
aren't
weeks.
There aren't even 90 hours in a week, dude.
What? Yeah, there are.
No.
What?
No. Joking. Well, dang, that's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, next week I should have some time off to relax. So, but until then,
wait, but are you getting your Mario Kart sets in?
dude, I didn't play Mario Kart 8 like at all, right? I never owned it or anything. So this one I bought, and I've played through all of 150cc and like roughly half of Mirror Cup so far. I still haven't even tried 200.
Yeesh.
At some point, I'm going to.
200 is really fun. I found out that Roy and not Fire Emblem Roy, one of the Koopalings Roy, works best for me with the sports bike with slim tires. It's pretty crazy. It's I'll lie. I'll go on record and actually not lie, but I'll admit that I'm fraudulent. I did Special Cup with Rainbow Road at the end. I did all of it 200cc, got first place in all, because you know how you have to get first in everything to get 3 stars for the cup.
Right.
I did everything in Special Cup with no antenna steering, no automated steering, right? Which I never do automated steering anyways, but I tried Rainbow Road. And let me tell you that Rainbow Road 200cc is not a joke. It is real life.
I really wanna try it. I haven't been able to play it.
It's not fun is the thing. It's like, I'm gonna sit here and try to do this and fail on the last race of the cup. So it's gonna like not get me 3 stars if I don't get first. So I turned on automatic steering, and it's like cheating. It's like you can go into the wall, but it won't let you. And I was in 10th place, and I got automatic steering turned on, and I had like the golden mushroom, so I just boosted. It glitched me out so hard that I was like going over tracks like on Rainbow Road because it twists and turns into like multiple levels, and I ended up first. And I was like, I don't care. Like that. Those are stars I get. I'm cool with that. I'm cool if
we did it. Cheat. We made it, guys.
It doesn't matter. No one checks.
I've been using the Inkling Girl with I think the standard bike and slick wheels.
Ooh, wait, you mean the tiny ones?
I think so. Yeah.
The tiny baby ones, right?
Slick, whatever Slick is.
Yeah.
I think those are the tiny baby ones. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't play Mario Kart enough. I want to play it more, but...
Yeah, it kind of doesn't get old. It's just fun. I do a lot of time trials now, and I race the Ghost. Nintendo employees are kind of bad, but whatever. But without further ado, we do have a pretty interesting episode planned out for you all today. Running through the headers of the episode. The title of this one is going to be the Mid to End Season Report on the PGR, which I'm a part of, if you didn't know already. The Panda Global Rankings are coming to an end in now 40 days. Actually, they'll be released in about 40 days. The season itself ends in a month, with CEO 2017 being the last event and the last S-tier event, presumably, for the season, the other 2 being Civil War and Genesis 4. So we kind of wanted to take a moment to kind of think about how the season's going. And also, Vayseth isn't here because he overslept. So it's just going to be Sage and I walking you through that. We're going to have... Yeah.
Vayseth is tired. He's a sleepy man.
He's a little Snorlaxy right now, but we're in there. We're here. We're going to have the definites All right, the definites that are going to be in this PGR, think of Zero, right? The Buzz, people like that. We're going to have the shooting stars, so people who have really shaken up the scene, either by results or by upsets, which in turn become results. And we're going to have the fallen stars, people who kind of have fallen out of favor and kind of been washed a little bit, whether by absence or by setback. And then go into the run back, which is going to answer viewer mail. So, in the
but
spirit
first,
of Vayseth,
I got. You got this one. Do you want to?
I don't think I should answer. Yeah, I don't think I should. So go ahead and do it.
All right. So Suar, hit me with that. Wait, no, not the. I was about to say the number or the run back, but hit me with the numbers.
It's time for the numbers.
So the numbers, we're going to go ahead and recap last weekend's tournaments. This is a Friday, so 5 days ago would be a Sunday, which most of these tournaments ended. We're going to go ahead and highlight some tournaments over 100 people that attended in all parts of the world, starting with Battle Arena Melbourne 9 in Melbourne, Australia. We had 244 people being taken by Extra, the Game & Watch main, which is stupendous, marvelous, and totally unexpected. I don't follow Australian Smash, so this might be normal, but Game & Watch has a result, which is not to be ignored.
I hope it's normal.
Well, I mean, who knows? Australia.
Well, also, didn't Reggie had a moment on the numbers at some point?
Reggie in Mexico, yeah, he's had moments in Mexico as he did in Genesis 3. Reggie is one of the best probably the best Game & Watch in the world, because I would wager that Mexico is much more. Well, I know that Mexico is above Australia in terms of result power,
strength and stuff.
But
yeah. It would be interesting to get some Australian people out. I'd love to see that.
They did get Ghost Bone, I believe, out to Genesis 3, and he drowned in pools. So that.
Aw, what does that say?
it says that was also their best player being flown out, and they didn't really make a splash. So could have been bracket, could have been food poisoning, could have been anything else. But unfortunately, Australia has yet to really make an impact globally. Not to shame any of their players, not to throw shade at any of their tournament organizers, but it's a hard world out there when you got North America and Japan pretty much breaking the game every other weekend. So much love to Extra and his Game & Watch. Congratulations for taking Battle Arena Melbourne 9. The last Battle Arena Melbourne was actually taken by Mr. R, who attended with Abadango and QB and some others. I think Earth.
I remember that. Yeah, that was a really big deal that all those guys were going out there.
Yeah, and there were attempts to make more people come out to this one. I think Nakat and Void were slated to go, but I think Nakat actually suffered an illness and there were flight complications. I don't know. But they were supposed to go to that. And Umabura Japan Major, unfortunately, couldn't make it, but that's how the cookie crumbles. The next tournament I want to talk about is Revenge of the 6IX, Episode 1. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that differently, Revenge of the 6. Probably Revenge of the 6, but why would you put 6IX? Is it Revenge of the 6-6? Anyways,
6-6. I like 6-6.
Toronto, Ontario, had 139 people taken by mistake and his Bayonetta, so congratulations to him. And then also skipped over this one, but we had Royal Flush, obviously, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, 146 people taken by Zero. After being reset, notably in a Game 5 situation by Mr. R, Mr. R could not close it out, unfortunately, getting second himself with his Cloud. But yeah, congratulations to Zero.
Yeah, Mr. R's Cloud is looking good.
Yeah, it's gotten very, very good. Giving up the Bayonetta completely, which I love to see, and the Sheik Cloud duality is very dangerous in my opinion. I think that Mr. R's strategy now is like get to top 8 with Sheik and then just pull out the cheese, because that's gonna make it these days, to be honest with you. And it's a viable strategy. I mean, a Cloud and Sheik dual personality is amazing. I mean, you got Sheik for the frame data, Cloud for the coverage. I mean, it's...
And doubles.
Yeah, and doubles. So, congratulations to Zero for taking Royal Flush. Then we have, actually, a hometown hero, Barrel Roll in Louisville, Kentucky, being taken by JJ Rockets in his Diddy Kong. Congratulations to JJ. This is probably
I think he said this was his first tournament win of over 100 people.
Let's go, JJ. This is, I think, your 479th tournament altogether, so that's actually awesome. You definitely have
finally hit it.
You definitely have a record going, and it's awesome to see things finally pull through for you. So congratulations to JJ. And then lastly, at a perfect 100 people, actually, why was this included? Whatever, let's shout him out. Zenu taking MSM 97. This leaked in. This shouldn't have been in here, but whatever. Zenu's awesome person. Zenu took MSM 97 in SoCal in Santa Ana, California, obviously at eSports Arena with 2GG. With his Mario. We got the pretty signature Zenu combos destroying stream and causing a lot of Twitch chat stream monsters to lose their minds. So congratulations to everybody on the numbers this week and for Zenu to sneaking on. Even though it was a local, whatever, YOLO, oversaturation, whatever. That'll do it. So that was last weekend. This weekend we're looking at Greninja Saga, which is tomorrow or today. We release on Friday. No, I think Greninja Saga is a 2-day event.
No, it's a 1-day. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I think Greninja Saga is a Saturday, Sunday event, right?
I'm pretty sure that the only thing that's going to be multi-day are like the larger 2GG stuff.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I think it's 2 days. I think it's 2 days or maybe one. In any case, we got Greninja Saga. We got some other stuff happening. I mean, it's just crazy. So we want to take a second to sort of see how are people doing. So if we look at the PGR right now, okay, we are actually in the process of updating our methodologies to be publicly available to everybody to sort of get a handle on what we're doing. It's been not teased, but it's been sort of, I've been talking about it a little bit. We actually did it for the Mortal Kombat PGR, which actually came out last week. We're approaching things with a 50-50 split. And what that means is taking a set count score and a placement score and multiplying those scores by 50% and then adding it together. And it's kind of like grades on in a class. So basically, the biggest problem that we saw with the last PGR were peaks and having that be the basis of a lot of our methodology. So like you had Locust sneaking in. You had Ally having, a lot of crazy wins because of his wins over Zero, even though he would have 25th sometimes, and people said he wasn't getting punished for that, as opposed to Dabuz or Nairo, who stayed in the top 8 at a lot of tournaments but didn't beat Zero or didn't get a tournament win per se. MK Leo obviously winning 2GGT Zero Saga, but not having too much after that or before that. I mean, he did have Genesis 4 after that, but before that, right? And then also just what those wins meant. Does first at 2GGT Zero Saga mean the same thing as first at Midwest Mayhem Saga? Does first at, it goes on and on. So because of the tournament tier system, being able to have our tournaments already laid out in S, A, B, and C tier, we're actually ready to weight those tournaments from the get-go because they're already classified as such. And we're going to get a much better idea. So right now, we got some pretty spot-on people that are going to return to the top 10. And firstly, that'd be Zero. So that's obviously not a surprise to you, is it, Sage?
I don't know. I'm shocked.
He's your hometown hero now. He's got, 7 ignitions in the bag now?
7 or 8, something like that. And he's dropped 3 games total.
3 games?
Yeah, in all of his ignitions.
That's hilarious.
So he dropped 1 to Ned early in one of his early runs, then dropped 1 to 8 inches in the Ganon Ditto.
I am yelling, and I hate, okay, this is why I hate this community, among other reasons. First, we got Mr. I trending on Twitter for milk before cereal, but we haven't been able to get tournaments to trend at all. Second, we have quality sets being uploaded to YouTube all the time. Beautiful overlays, beautiful streaming. Maybe 10,000 views if it was a S tier tournament for a set. But 8 inches versus Zero right now on your page, I think, last time I checked, had over 50,000 views.
Yeah, dude, he actually, I don't want to say he almost won, but you're Ganon, so you're kind of almost always winning. But Zero crapped on him game 1 with Lucina. Ganon dittoed him game 2, lost. Then game 3, he got frame 2 up tilted, or frame 1 up tilted when he snapped to ledge.
Annoying.
And everybody freaked out and was like, oh my god, Ganon inside him. And then, Zero proceeded to destroy him.
So much like Zero's Ignition run, he has barely dropped anything this season, but he has dropped some sets. And I quickly want to go over those sets he's dropped. So, firstly, we have Su at Frostbite 2017. That reset in Grand Finals was probably the highlight of my life, personally.
Oh my god, it was such a good tournament. If you haven't seen the video, guys, go watch it on the Unrivaled Tournament channel.
Not even a shameless plug. You need to go right now and search Frostbite 2017 Zero versus Su Grand Finals, not Winners Finals. Although Winners Finals was bananas, but you also got to look at Grand Finals because, oh my god.
There's sets that you have to watch in if you get into any game, it's like, what are the first sets that you want to watch to really see the hype? And it's like for Smash 4, it's like Renai vs Zero Genesis was insane. And
Have you seen the old League of Legends Korean shoutcasters Katarina Pentakill video?
No, I haven't actually.
That's the equivalent. A Katarina in League of Legends back in the day got a pentakill at a major tournament, and it was like everyone's screaming Pentakill, Pentakill, and it's like same thing. Zero versus Su is a set of the lifetime. It was high octane. There was a crowd mic. There were people yelling. Zero was on his phone calling to Pierce. It was crazy, and that's just the first set. So let's just run through these, okay? We got Royal Flush, him losing a set to Mr. R. We got then Civil War with him actually getting eliminated by Latai after losing a set to Xax, which is just Xax, right? I mean, Xax, good player, but I don't think anybody would have called that.
And then Latai on top of that, yeah, so, it was wild.
Yeah, so we got Su, we got Mr. R, Xax, and Latai. So that's 4 set losses this season for Mr. Gonzalo. Then we had Tweak at Katar with his DK, which was just hilarious. So that's 5 sets. We had Ned at Midwest Mayhem 8. That's his 6th set loss. And Genesis, we had Brood with the Duck Hunt, followed by Ally, which is his constant just roadblock for some reason. It's so funny that Ally can beat him, but yet not be consistent in the game. But that just also highlights the complexities of the game. So 7 sets lost. And then we had Frame Perfect Series 2, double eliminated by Kirihara. So that's 9 sets. Nine set losses for Mr. Gonzalo this season, and many first places. Incredible. He won Midwest Mayhem. He won Katar.
Midwest Mayhem was interesting too, because that was actually the first time that we saw his Lucina come out against Ally, and he ended up beating Ally 3-1.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, for sure. That really, we saw Persistent Blade's identity get revealed, basically. But yeah, then we had PAX Arena, which of course he won the Invitational. He won Frostbite 2017. He won CEO Dreamland. He didn't win Frame Perfect Series 2. He got 2nd. And he won Midwest Mayhem Saga. He won basically every saga he went to. And he got 3rd at Genesis. So Zero is by no stretch of the imagination not getting anything lower than 1st.
Unless he has some crazy bomb of this last month where he's just 49th a bunch of times, and somebody else. You'd have to have somebody else also get 1st the whole month, right?
He could not even play for the rest of the season and be fine. He's got so many wins. No one can make up for that because this whole time the other people have been losing. So
fair,
it's
fair.
Zero's fine. Zero cannot take the final exam and be totally fine. So there you have it. I mean, Zero is just, again, amazing. But then who do you think is the best set for 2nd, in your opinion?
Oh, best set for 2nd. Zero Saga with MK Leo was last season, right?
Huh?
Zero Saga was last season, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it started with Genesis as the first big major.
Yep.
That's tough.
You want to take a look at MKLeo?
I want to say just from consistency's sake, I feel like you're gonna see most likely DeBuzz second.
I'm glad he said that, because the Buzz has been this like interesting case where Civil War, of course, being his first major win and being the most stacked tournament in the history of Smash of any game, in my opinion, just because of how much talent was like just there. That was hilarious that it was his first win as well. But a lot of people say that, you know, if you look at his run, there was MVD, Kirihara, T, Shuton, Fatality, and I can't remember the other person, but not top 10 people, right? Oh, and Captain Zach, right?
His wins are gonna be a little low in comparison to like other people.
And it's strange because that's kind of the game we play, you know? Like, you can get first and it might be on paper that you were first in the building that day. But I always go back to the example that was brought about by CEO 2016. Like, Anti won, but Zenoto's run through losers was just monstrous. Like, Zenoto got all these crazy wins and defeated Anti, but Anti won after the reset, but Anti still got first, you know? It's just kind of how double elimination works. And because of the upsets with Zero, because of the upsets with all these other people, you know, was the Buzz saved? Was he beating all these people? Was like T really the third best person that day as Link, you know, like at the tournament? It's hard to say, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you can't take away his win. Like, he definitely won the largest event, right? Like, no matter what, no matter who he played, he won the largest event in Smash 4 for like Smash 4 only game, right?
Yeah, yeah. So,
but yeah, the wins are still gonna be present.
Yeah, and so, you know, looking at the Buzz's losses, okay, Zero had 9, okay? The Buzzes feature Zero at Frostbite and Nairo at Frostbite. At Genesis Saga, the Buzz lost to DSS, which I remember. That was ridiculous in pools, and then he made this crazy run only to lose to Como, which has kind of started a rivalry, Como getting the better of the Buzz for a while now. Dreamland, the Buzz lost to Mr. R, and he lost to Nairo again. Then at PAX Arena, the little invitational, he lost to Larry, and he lost to Zero. So far, aside from DSS, all top 15 players. Genesis 4.
And you're going to see him lose to like Nairo and Zero. Like, that's his biggest consistent.
Yeah, and he beats everybody before that. So it's like, I mean, that's pretty good. So Genesis 4, the Buzz lost to Como, and he lost to Zero. So again, that's another loss to Zero. Tokaigi, which was really cool, he lost to Shuton, which is one of the first instances where Shuton is starting to gain this momentum to be slated for the PGR, or at least have ties to it. And then he lost to Ken, who is now undoubtedly top 15 in my mind, if not top 20. And
yeah, after his run at Umabura Japan Major, like, that was impressive.
Yeah, and Ken is the best Sonic in the world. Best solo Sonic, man. I mean, Como's got it still, but I mean, he's definitely sold his soul to Cloud by now.
Yeah, Como is a Cloud. Like, he's a Cloud main with a Sonic secondary, I think, at this point.
Yeah, before Pocket Cloud, then dual main. Now he's a Cloud main.
Now he's just Genkai Wokoru.
Genkai Wokoru, yeah, basically. Frame Perfect Series 2, the Buzz lost to MK Leo, and he lost to Como again. So we got names like Zero, Nairo, Como, MK Leo, and DSS.
DSS. Let's go DSS.
Yeah, so Ken, Shuton, and DSS are outliers, but Shuton has made a case for himself recently, obviously with Frostbite as well. Unfortunately, couldn't attend Umabura Japan Major because of a stomach virus, I believe. And also Larry Lur. So DeBuzz is like an amazing standing. Like, DeBuzz is just like, holy wow. He's just great. Like, he's super set right now.
Yeah. You look at his losses, his wins, and his placings, and I feel like it's hard to say right now with confidence that, like, it's hard to say that he wouldn't be top 2, right?
Second? 5. Yeah, top.
Oh, he's
top
for sure
3,
top
definitely.
5.
And then the placing. So, He obviously declined to go to Royal Flush. He cited burnout, but he did get. I don't remember what he got at Tokaigi, but he did rather well. He got first at Kumite in Tennessee, which is a C tier event. He got second at PAX Arena, which was like a nice invitational that gave him some good wins. He got fourth at Frostbite, and then he got fourth at Dreamland, which is an A tier event. So we got so far top 4 placings. But he did get fifth at Frame Perfect Series 2. And that's where the talk about Kirihara being the best Rose main, which is just silliness when you look at these losses and wins. But he did actually get 13th at Genesis Saga. So that's his first time outside of the top 8 place range. And Genesis Saga was pretty tough, but he was coming from that DSS loss. So, I mean, that's what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough to make that loser run every time.
Yeah, and then he got first at Civil War, and then he had that 7th at Genesis, which, because of the 0.9, I mean, that also bites. But it looked like he was going to lose that handedly anyways. So, yeah. I mean, Dabuz...
I don't think has Dabuz ever taken a set off 0?
Not this season. But he has
not this season for sure. I think, he's like 1 or 2. But, I don't know. I think you look at those results, and you look at who he's lost to, and it's like, how can you put him any lower than, like, top 3 easy, in my mind? Like, I foresee him being second unless he has some really bad end of the season.
So the only person I think that can contest him after that is Leo. And I wouldn't even say Nairo just because Nairo hasn't gotten that like win yet, and Leo has Genesis. And I wouldn't say Ally because Ally, even though in the head-to-head with Zero is pretty nice looking, his placements have been everywhere. But he does have like 5 tournaments set for the next 5 weekends in which he could possibly completely turn that around.
Right. Ally will be interesting to see if he even lands back in the top 5.
I would at this rate I would doubt it. After his tour, I can see it if he gets top 4, top 5 in those events.
Right. He'd have to place really well. Leo, though, also don't forget he won Umebura Japan Major.
That was big. So Leo's losses. Okay, starting at Frostbite. He lost to Kameme, which was a super big surprise because Kameme had been like supposedly washed for a bit. And of course, Leo coming from that Genesis win, everybody thought Leo had it, but Kameme actually beat him. Kameme ending with 9th place at Frostbite to Leo's 13th, so even outplaced him. And then Void. Void beat MK Leo as well, who he had pretty much bopped that 2GGT 0 saga. So Kameme and Void so far. Civil War was the doozy. He lost to Meteor.
Rough.
I don't know who that is.
Civil War was just whack.
Bad. And he lost to AC. So 2, for all case and purposes, unknowns, hidden bosses. I'm not going to say randoms. I'm not going to be disrespectful, but, you know, very unexpected. AC being a Falco main who surprised everybody. AC getting 25th at Civil War, which is amazing. A Falco in top 32 at the hardest tournament thus far.
AC also plays... Hilarious. Doesn't he also play Meta Knight?
Dude played Falco, like legit. He does play Meta Knight, but that tournament was his Falco because he also took out 6 WX.
Craziness.
And Leo got 65th at Civil War, which is a huge like. He was in my fantasy. He was in my heart. And
is he ever not in your fantasy?
Yeah, MK Leo. You know, then having Katar. Okay, Katar he got 3rd, but he lost to Zero, and he lost to Tweak. So very respectable. Tweak having a pretty good showing at an A tier event, getting, or I think it was B tier. I can't remember right now. I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, Tweak and Zero respectable. Okay, so far 6 losses for Leo, and then the Arena, which was a Mexican tournament that happened a little bit ago, featuring Smash Studios and Mexico's Best. He actually dropped a set to Javi, his cousin. And Javi got 2nd. Leo still got 1st, but he did drop a set. So that's 6 sets now that Leo has dropped. 3 of them actually, Javi, AC, and Meteor being just completely unexpected. And then Smash 4 at KICon, which is the Killer Instinct Con, which I don't even know why there was a Smash tournament there, but he lost to Nairo. And he lost to Nairo. So he lost to Nairo twice. So that gives Nairo a really good little bit of set advantage.
Yeah, that's a nice head-to-head to have.
Yeah, that's a very nice head-to-head to have. And then Frame Perfect Series 2, he lost to Zero twice. He got 3rd, Zero got second. Zero went on to lose to Kirihara twice. So those are good sets for Zero to have. And pretty much, if you lose to Zero, it's like everyone's lost to Zero, so it just helps Zero more and more, and everybody else stays the same.
Yeah, they're like borderline a wash. Like, you lose to Zero, cool. You beat Zero though, like it's a huge deal, and that's gonna affect your placing.
Yeah, but then we had Austin's Really Feeling It, number 16, which that name is, like I think we said back then, awful. But Trella got the double elimination on MKLeo, which again, like Trella being super dormant and then coming and doing that.
That was the start of people being like, Leo has a Ryu problem, right? Because he lost to Dark Shad at UGC, and then Trella coming out.
That was the confirmation that Leo has a Ryu problem.
Or yeah, the confirmation.
Yeah, so if you meet Leo in bracket, you know what? Just try it. Just why not? Just bring out Tatsu, Shuriken, just do it. See what happens. Because apparently, dude's got an issue. But anyways, Umabura Japan Major, he lost to Ken once. And then he took the reset and took the tournament, which is beautiful. You should watch that. Umabura Japan Major 2017. Ken versus MKLeo Grand Finals.
Also a great set.
Then he lost... Yeah, then there's a second loss to Void. First one from Frostbite. The other one at Genesis Saga. And another loss to Tweak. So Tweak actually getting pulled up a little bit by MKLeo, which is pretty nice because I like seeing Tweak doing well.
Yeah, if you were to ask me, after seeing this, like even before this, I probably would have said Zero first, second would have been DeBuzz, third would have been MKLeo, and fourth would have been Nairo.
Let's talk about Nairo then. Nairobi Quesada, because he's gotten a little bit of discussion going around because he is he is literally a full-time streamer. So he limits his events to 2 a month. And if a 2GGC is happening, he kind of has to choose whether or not he wants to do that. And then if another S tier event is happening, then he definitely has to do that. So once he does a 2GGC and a major, then he's pretty much like, I can't take another weekend, right? Because usually they're back to back, or even if it's a bye week, right? It's still like traveling's exhausting. I mean, you know this, Sage. You've sold your soul to travel.
Yeah, I've pretty much been doing it for 8 years now.
So Nairo's got an interesting bit because his travels have been pretty moderate, but his placings have been a little less than what they could have been, right? If he clutched that one, kill confirm out. And so it sucks because like while he doesn't have volume, he's still lacking a little bit in quality. Still at the top of the cut, before you flame me. I mean, Nairo's my god, basically. So he's still amazing, but he still doesn't get that. He still hasn't had that major win. He still hasn't had that grand finals reset. And
he has generally good placings, but I think as we continue this conversation, you're gonna see like Nairo, who outplaces Nairo beyond the top 3. Then if we put him fourth, it's like exactly. No one has the consistency beyond that. Like 6 through 10 or even 5 through 10 is just like a mess.
It is and it isn't. And so if we take a look at Nairo really quick, 7th at Royal Flush, which was a pain to watch. He won Tokaigi, which is awesome because he did well in Japan. He won the tournament previous to Tokaigi as well. He won the K-Icon against MKLeo. He got actually 5th at K-Tar 20, K-Tar XX. He got 3rd at Frostbite, which is respectable. Very good, very solid. He got 3rd at CO Dreamland, very solid again. Then that 9th at Civil War. I would have liked to see Nairo top 5 at Civil War just to give him that undisputed top 3. But that 9th really hurts him when even though Leo got 65th, I mean, Leo's gotten Genesis and all the other tournaments we talked about.
Right, Leo has the tournament wins, but Nairo definitely has some really strong like player wins.
Yeah, but then a 17th at Genesis. So the issue is that Leo won Genesis and then he busted at Civil War, so it kind of evens out, even though Nairo got 9th at Civil War and 17th at Genesis. That still doesn't peak over top 8, whereas Leo's like averages to almost top 8 because the 65th sinks him, but like still like a first at Genesis is just monumental.
Right, like you have one of the most stacked tournament wins of all time.
Yeah, but then Nairo's loss is 0, twice at Frostbite, so no surprise there. Royal Flush, he did lose to Tweak, which is good for Tweak, and he lost to Void, which is good for Void. So Void ended at 4th, Tweak ended at 3rd for Royal Flush. So that's actually really good and actually makes a case for Tweak to be at the edge of top 10 in my opinion.
Yeah, Tweak keeps showing up.
Yeah, he keeps showing up, but he doesn't deliver. He shows up to the door, and I feel that Tweak, with the mentality that he has, is so hungry and thirsty, and that sometimes causes him to make mistakes that are just way overcommitted. But that's another story. Civil War Fatality is a tough loss for Nairo, but still respectable because Fatality's come into his own recently, and in my argument has top 20 potential. And Locust, also at Civil War, which has another argument for top 20, top 15 potential. Katar had MKLeo, Fair, and Salem, which actually makes Salem relevant to the conversation for the first time because to me, Salem, is a tease. Straight tease.
You want him to be so good, right?
Yeah, he was supposed to come back after the little noise that he caused last season and, take in all these tournaments, but, Salem drowns, so much earlier before these conversations. I mean, he makes pools, he makes top 32, top 16, but then he stops,
I mean, you saw, when Salem first started playing Bayonetta, and all of a sudden this craziness around Bayonetta was coming around, everybody's like, oh my god, Salem is it. Salem is going to ruin this game. Salem is going to be a top 5 player now, and all this stuff, and, Salem hasn't really done anything at these large events.
Yeah, apart from, not even attending, not even really clutching it, Salem got a set on Nairo, cool, but apart from that, I mean, Salem just kind of stays very, very low-key. But that happens. I mean, it's hard to travel. K-Icon, right, Killer Instinct, MKLeo took 1 set. And then Genesis 4, Mr. R, which is good for Mr. R, and Zero. So once again, Zero being the showstopper there. Nairo did get 17th, though, so that's dicey. But he did win Tokaigi. And he did drop a set to Ken, so that's good for Ken. And then at Dreamland, he dropped one again to Mr. R, which is more for Mr. R to be asserted top 5 at least. And Mr. R again, double eliminated by Mr. R at Dreamland, which is interesting because Nairo, by this, has not lost to anybody outside of the top arguable 20. Salem being his worst loss. Because out of all these, Locust and Fatality are definitely stronger than Salem.
Yeah, at the current moment, for sure. That could super easily switch around, though. You could see Salem just break out at any moment.
Which would be better for Nairo. The thing about a bad loss is that it's not bad if the person you lost to does well. The thing about Latai is that Latai, sucks so hard for Zero because Latai is not going to do anything else. But if Latai started winning majors, then that win for Zero would actually be good. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's inversely related. A bad loss gets better for you the better they do.
Right.
So, but it's because if you lose to a random, then that sucks. If they stay a random, it means that you were expected to win against all odds and you didn't, so you suck.
Yeah, it's Allies lost to Komoda at Frostbite, the Kirby player. That's a bad loss.
Because Komoda didn't do anything after that.
Yeah.
And Latai, he beat Zero and then got 3-0'd by Foe. So it's damn, that makes your win pretty hard. And that's what we kind of call noise. And it's what we've been doing finding in our tests. It's yes, he lost to Latai, but what does Latai mean? Is Latai the best person in the world after that because he beat Zero, who's arguably the best person in the world? No. Transitive property we know doesn't work. But how do we contextualize Latai? Well, we look at his history, and after that, there's not much, I'd like to see how he does at Greninja Saga if he enters and some of the other 2 GGCs since they're in his area. But apart from that, I mean, for Zero's sake, I hope Latai does better, but Nairo doesn't have that to worry about that at all because his worst, quote-unquote, worst loss at the moment is Salem, which is very respectable because MKLeo has Meteor and AC, which, no diss to them, but they're not Salem. Ally has Komoda.
I'd be surprised if Nairo, assuming kind of the same trend continues across all these players, I'd be surprised to see Nairo over MKLeo just because of MKLeo's highs.
Yeah.
But even with the bad losses. But, I mean, you never know. You never know what could happen in the next month.
Yeah, and there's still, a good amount of events left. But we'll see. You know, the power of placements versus set counts are going to be a 50-50 split. So maybe Nairo's set wins are going to carry him a little bit next to Leo, but I think Leo's placement scores are just going to outdo him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
So
that'll
strong.
definitely be a pairing to keep your eye on when the PGR drops. Like, definitely check
Yeah.
out, like, where did Nairo place and compared to MK Leo. But again, this in a month, this conversation might not matter because Nairo could win 4 events and MK Leo could drown.
Yeah, even though that's unlikely, this is pretty much how it's gonna go. Like, kind of like like your grade in a class. Like, if you're at an 80, like, you're not really gonna get a D, but you can still get an A, and you're probably gonna end at a B. But you do have the possibility of dropping into a C. But if you have a D by the end of the quarter, you're not getting an A, and you're not getting a B, and at best you can get a C. So it's like, for a lot of these players, like, Salem's in the D category. Like, Salem can't really do any. Like, if you haven't done it all semester, why are you gonna do it now? Unless you're Trella, it doesn't really make too much sense for someone to just start winning right now. You know what I mean? Like, taking the analysis into just historic, you know, extrapolation, like, Leo should continue to do well, Zero should continue to win, and Mr. R is at the point where he's almost about to win over Zero, as he's shown us. So, I don't know. I think Nairo's going to continue not losing to anybody bad, and I think Leo will continue to speed, like, very barely overcoming him just because he's so strong and he's got a lot going for him.
We'll see that consistency kind of follow through.
Yeah. So, without spending too much time on the definites, going into the shooting stars, who do you want to talk about first? Who do you think is going to be the biggest person slated to go into top 10? I already got mine.
I am going to say Captain Zach.
The fabulous, illustrious queen herself, Captain Zach. And the thing about Captain Zach is, like, I don't think he's underestimated or downplayed. I just think people just don't want to wake up and smell the coffee because Zach has placed 4th at Civil War and Genesis, the only 2 S-tier events. And if Zach seals the deal with another top 8 placing at CEO 2017, then that's it. I mean, that's not even questioned.
I so hope that Zach gets top 8 just for his ring walkout.
Oh, the catwalk? Oh my god. Yeah, it'll be great. Like, the thing about Nairo is that he didn't get a top 8 placing at Genesis or a top 8 placing at Civil War, and that's very concerning because even though he's got the Umabura victories and he's got amazing wins and no bad losses per se, like, not getting a top 8 is rough to justify. Like, using whatever algorithm you want, like, it's just tough. And so that's where I'm kind of, like, feeling for Nairo and also feeling for Zach, because Zach, at the current moment, in terms of placings, okay, he did get 17th at Royal Flush, which was really upsetting. He got 2nd at Glitch 3. He got 5th at Midwest Mayhem 6. He got 17th at Frostbite, which had that crazy Some victory with Greninja. Down tilt onto up smash. Really tough to watch. 9th at CO Dreamland. A little bit less than hoped for. His seeding was actually notably 9th at Dreamland, so he actually met his seeding. He got 5th at Frame Perfect Series 2. He was also seeded 9th for that again, so he actually beat his seed. He did get 13th at Midwest Mayhem Saga. And he got 4th at Civil War, like I said, 4th at Genesis, which he was seeded 19th for. So 9 apparently is, like, somehow special to Zach. But those are pretty good. I mean, those are not really dragging. I don't see any 33rds, 25ths. I'm only seeing 17ths as a low. So, I mean, if Allies proved us anything, I mean, you can get to the top with some shaky placings. In terms of sets lost, Captain Zach has got Mystery at Frostbite and Some. Some being not a bad loss, but a hidden boss loss. So, for all intents and purposes, bad. Because Some outside of that hasn't made too much noise. Dreamland, he had 6WX, which was like a huge change in dynamic because he had been dominating 6WX for a while now. And he lost to Void. Avenged by Samsora, but he lost to Void. So that's a good loss. He lost to Wadi at Glitch 3 twice, double eliminated by the MDVA King Mewtwo. And at Civil War, he lost to Buzz and Fatality, which was, like, super, super strange just because I don't think Falcon should have anything to do and that matchup that ends up in his favor, but somehow this guy did it. I don't know how. That was like the best I've ever seen Fatality ever play.
Yeah, Fatality was on something else that day. So
He was like, that was not Captain Falcon. Like, I don't know if he was using customs or like Smoothlander or like what. I mean, he was flying.
yeah, so Zach definitely has that potential. I think his high tournament placings of 4th at these huge majors is gonna really support him. These tier 1 events or A tiers, S tier.
Yeah, and I think we might see. I think if Fatality supplemented his play with perhaps just another character for those top 8 matches, because top 8 will get you through pools. Or sorry, Captain Falcon will get you through pools. Fine, Fatalities especially. But once you enter the pro bracket, like, you know, you get even like a mediocre Sheik, you can still have your day ruined. You know, so I want to see a new like adaptation by these players getting to top 8 and whipping out like their Mario, their Lucina, you know what I mean? Because they have more consistency.
I mean, we see it with Mr. R. Like, Mr. R struggled for so long against Zero, and now his Cloud has come closer to beating Zero than his Sheik.
Exactly, and it's because Sheik and a lot of these like careful spacing, careful recovery type characters, like, I mean, Sheik has a free recovery, but like she has to space everything or she dies at 10. They get screwed up by the top tiers. Like, Diddy and Bayonetta are not fun for Captain Falcon to return to, but I don't know how. Somehow he did it, so he lost the Fatality. But moving on, Royal Flush, he did lose the Ditto to Pink Fresh, which is really surprising because that brings Pink Fresh back into relevancy. No shade there, but he's just been rather dormant, underwhelming placements, and also low attendance. And then he lost to Sandstorm 3-0. That's a bad loss for sure.
Yeah, that one's rough.
That's a rough one. So we see that Captain Zack is fallible. Okay, he's vulnerable, at least he's mortal. Nairo doesn't have losses anything like this except for Fatality, but admittedly he's a top 20 player. But no Sandstorm. So I see Zack at the cusp, maybe 9th or 10th out of these losses, and then also at Genesis 4, Mr. R, and 0, which is fine because they'll be above him. Midseason 6, Elegant, contender for the PGR in my opinion for sure.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
And Shoyo James. So James from DMG. I remember that Luigi was rocking people. I think James might also be a contender, but not with as much urgency as Elegant because he's been burning up the press for a while.
James is super good. Don't sleep on James. Like by ranking, that's a bad loss, but like if somebody loses to James, like I wouldn't be that surprised, right?
Yeah, and Luigi's so wacky.
And he's got a weird ditty.
But then closing it, MVG Frame Perfect Series 2, losing to Como and 0. So great losses to have, and I think Como will definitely be top 6, top 7 at least.
You're definitely gonna see him in that range, Mr. R in that range.
Yeah, I think Mr. R might be the gatekeeper. Possibly, he might also be above Nairo. Because Mr. R's placings have been so good.
Yeah, lately especially.
Yeah, so he might even outspeed him, but Nairo might be the gatekeeper for the top 5, Mr. R at 4th. But then at Midwest Mayhem Saga, Captain Zack lost to SS and Ned. And Ned, probably going to be the gatekeeper of the top 20, because he's had some wicked wins, but hasn't been able to clutch out like a tournament win in a while.
Right, Ned has all these really high-placing wins, but he also didn't do so hot at Civil War, or at least didn't do nearly as well as he would have liked. But that 4th at Midwest Mayhem Saga, definitely going to carry him pretty far.
Yeah, and it's like wild because like the tournament oversaturation makes it so that you have more data, but it also makes it harder for people to keep up. That's why it's so admirable. Like, it's just so commendable for people like the Buzz, Nairo, and 0 to still be at the top throughout all these events, where Zack is like wavering a little bit and still at the top. It's just awesome. Like, that's super cool.
Yeah,
but
so
we have hit the
I was gonna say, I think finishing off a couple of other guys that we would expect to see, you know, potentially making a pretty big break into the top 20, top 15, top 10, probably not, maybe, who knows, but like Locust, Kirihara, and Esam, all definitely strong players and are putting themselves out there as like big potential for PGR numbers.
Esam definitely rising back into the top 20, if not top 15. Locust definitely coming from the low 40s into at least top 20, maybe top 18. Civil War being his biggest showing. He's just gotten such incredible wins, such good consistency. His losses will every now and then trip him up, but what a player. What a player. And then Kirihara obviously getting a double count on Zero and also doing well in general in Japan.
Yeah, there's almost no player that can say they have multiple wins on Zero.
And double eliminated him, which is hilarious. But yeah, that'll cover the shooting stars. We're hit the 50-minute mark, so I just want to get one fallen star in if possible, and then go into the run back. Because even just talking about these few people, there's so much that people just don't take into account. The losses, the placements at certain tournaments. Like, that's why when people just talk about people on Twitter, like, oh, they're top 10 or something, it's like, are you taking into account, like, each mini essay on each player? Because there's just so much that happened this season.
Yeah, I mean, this show, if we wanted to, we could make it like 6 hours easy talking about like 10 players.
10 players, yeah. So someone I wanted to talk about, because I saw a tweet actually earlier today. Tri-State's Anti was actually saying how he thinks he's going to be in the low 30s for the PGR. And he said that he didn't mind because at any tournament he could snap back into acting like a top 10 player. By either winning or just pulling it super clutch. And that's something that I find interesting because it kind of shows that Anti is very self-aware. I mean, he's been calling himself washed for a while now, first as a joke, now as sort of a funny, self-deprecating identity. He's realized that, you know, there's a lot of people that have caught up on him, and also just the game is harder, the matchups are crazier. You had a Game & Watch win in Australia. I mean, things happen, right? Like Smash 4, things happen. So he's had a little bit of tough time, a little bit of a character crisis main. So just looking into Anti really quick, seeing as he was 9th this season and 10th on the first PGR, he's been top 10 twice. And I don't think, unless like a change of heart, like we've been saying is unlikely for anybody, I don't think he's slated for top 10 at all, let alone top 20. We had him getting 13th at Royal Flush, top 16 respectable. 3rd at Rise 2017, which is like a C tier tournament. He lost to Elegant at an ally won. So very unexpected. I mean, he was seeded 2nd. He got 2nd at Kumite in Tennessee, which was just him and DeBuzz, right? DeBuzz got that win. He got 7th at PAX Arena, which only had 8 people go, so he went 0-2, which kind of bites a lot. He got 13th at Dreamland, so top 16 again, but losing immediately. He got 25th at Civil War, so top 32, but then losing immediately. And then he got 9th at Genesis, which is probably his best placing and most respectable one out of these few. But still, like, before the big wins happen, you know what I mean? Before you can get a Mr. R, before you can get some of those people, right?
Right. Anti's, it's always going to be so weird, too. Like, when he goes to like a big tournament, it's going to be hard because, like, you seed him low, and then he runs into, like, a top player. Like, Anti very much could run into Zero at, like, quarters or even before quarters if you seed him lower and just, like, beat him. But he also could just drown in pools. Like, he's such this weird enigma right now that it's hard to place.
Yeah, he actually lost. I think he was in pools to Void. Like, he was seeded to play Void in pools, and he was, like, laughing at himself on Twitter saying, like, I'm so washed, I've never been this seated, like, so low in my life. Admittedly, Royal Flush was a little stacked, and it was really tiny, so, like, it's not unheard of to be seated to play Void in pools. But it was just like, damn, that's like, like Anti being 2nd seed in a pool. Like, when does that happen?
Like, if you're the top player in that pool, you're just gonna have to worry, like, no matter what, because, like, you have no idea what Anti is showing up that day.
But quickly closing on his losses, DeBuzz, respectable. DeBuzz, respectable again. That was Kumite, so 2 to DeBuzz. Dreamland, Raito. So that's Duck Hunt. And then Samsora. So Samsora really coming into himself recently. So that's 4 losses, 2 of them being to DeBuzz, respectable. Royal Flush, he lost to Tweak, respectable. And Frozen, which was very, very somewhat of a showstopper. But then if you think about it, not too surprising now. It's a really funky matchup. It's Samus, like, things happen. There's charge shot. What is she going to do? Like, tether, re-grab. It's just silly. So 5 losses. That Civil War, he lost to Nico, which is Shulk, which is like, I don't even know how to play a high-level Shulk, let alone a top-level Shulk. So that probably spooked him. And then Samsora again. So he's actually 0-2 to Samsora, just talking about these tournaments. PAX Arena, he lost to Mars and then his brother Pug. So Pug isn't a bad loss, but it's definitely one you wouldn't expect for Anti, let alone a couple months ago. And then Genesis 4 was actually MVD, which has caused a lot of controversy. And MVD is another wild card. Can do amazing, can do awful. And Captain Zach. So that's good for the Captain Zach Samsora duet. And then at Rise 2017, Ally and Elegant. So that's 9 losses. Ally and Double the Buzz being the most respectable. But we didn't see any Mr. R's. We didn't even see Zero or Void or Larry in any of those losses.
Right, he's not even reaching these guys.
Exactly.
He's losing to players who are, most likely out of the top 20.
Gatekeepers.
Possibly even out of the top 30.
No. I wouldn't say that hard. I mean, Captain Zach, Samsora, and...
But like Nico? Like, you think you'll see Nico in the top 30?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Well, that's the issue. It's like he'll lose to like, one of the gatekeepers in the top 20, and then he'll lose to like a matchup that you don't even like. How do you study the Shulk matchup? You know what I mean? Like, you can in theory, but it's so wacky. It's just so wacky. And then Peach as well is just so wacky. And then Duck Hunt, fucking wacky. So yeah, poor Anti. I mean, these placings do not net a top 10, do not net a top 20 in my opinion. Top 30 is pretty steep. I think the best thing that'll carry him is a strong end to this season and that 9th at Genesis.
Yeah, it'd be wild if we saw Anti in the 40s, man.
That'll be the day. That'll also be the day where the PGR is gonna get attacked and ransacked and pillaged and.
Hey man, that day might be in a month, so depending on how he does over the next couple weeks.
Bring it. I'm ready, because this time it's like gonna be really fun, really great. Everything's gonna be published on the last day, super clear. Last time we had issues with that because of the way we wanted to organize it. Plus, like, just nothing was ready to be published. It's just been a headache. Plus, it's like free time we got to spend, but the new PGR is already starting. Like, pretty much by the time the PGR is out, we have to work on the next one. So it's just tough. Yeah. It's automated now. We good. But yeah, I mean, let us know in Twitter, in private, in whatever you want, who you think the definites, the shooting stars, and the fallen stars are. We already spent 50 minutes talking about just like 7 people. We can spend hours, like Sage said, on more.
Yeah, so we gave you kind of like a quick little look into top 5, potential top 5, some guys that you may be surprised to see, some guys that you may be surprised not to see, and
just some overall perspective, because if you checked out after Zero Saga and you came back and you're like, yeah, where's my Anti? Where's my Larry Lur? Where my homies at? You might be surprised, because Larry's another one. I mean, Larry's been very, very quiet recently. And he had an amazing run at Civil War. I mean, he lost a foe and then made it all the way back. But he got 9th. And so that'll be great for him. But again, like, he hasn't gotten crazy wins outside of that because he just hasn't been attending.
Yeah, he hasn't been super present. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how this month shapes up. I'm sure we'll have a much more in-depth look coming on soon, closer to the PGR release. But this is a nice little preview for this episode. Smash has been relatively quiet this past week, besides some Twitter drama on coaching, which we don't anticipate going away anytime soon.
Yeah. We're, Silent Doom tweeted that we're going through puberty right now as an esport, and like, we don't know what we want, but hopefully we'll make the right choices. And I think that there's enough people out there fighting the good fight, to try to make things better, try to make things legitimize. There are top players that are staunchly against it. There are top players that are fully supportive, Anti being one of them. He thinks that coaching adds job opportunities, roles, positions, just grows the sport more and more.
I like that puberty reference. Like, I just imagine Smash is like the 14-year-old kid that just wants to yell at mom because she's putting in rules that he doesn't want to follow.
I just want shiny things, Mom. I just want 5 Civil Wars now, and I don't care about how much they cost and whether or not blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah. But, again, that's a little bit of the mid-season end report. We'll have, obviously, more coming from the PG Stats website, which is yet to come out. It's coming out pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. And we're also going to reveal who the narrator for the PGRV3 is going to be as our inaugural article. But we got one chance for one run-back question, so let's go ahead and head on to that.
Yeah, so let's move on into the run back.
Run back.
I'm just gonna make
All
it
right,
less and less like a word, and eventually it's just gonna be grunting.
growling. All right, so who do you want to take this week? Because I don't really know.
That's a good question. You want to do the Victor
Victor Pink
Pank? Is that? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Punk
Panky.
gamer tag is Scarf.
Scarl.
Scarl. Jesus, I'm blind. Scarl.
All right,
That
yeah,
one?
yeah. I think that'd be a decent one to close it out on. We have a whole bunch to catch up from Trent as well, so we'll get there eventually.
All right, so I'll read it if you want.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, so hello, Set Count crew. My name is Victor. Gamertag is Scarl. I'm a 17-year-old broke high schooler that is close enough to Chicago to call themselves a Chicagoan, but far enough to not be able to go to tournaments. Welcome to being 17 with no car. I'm a big fan of the scene, but I've never actually been to a tournament. I don't even have a Wii U, just a 3DS. I love to watch competitive play, and I've even compiled the set counts between the top 50 in my free time. I thought Suar might like that. That's cool. My question is, in my current predicament of not being able to go to any tournaments, is there anything I can do to help the scene with no money or transportation? Signed, Victor Pink, or Punk, or Panky, or... I'm just saying Victor P. Okay, I'm not going to have any microaggressions somewhere else. So Victor P, thank you. Right off the bat, I'm just gonna say retweet. Retweet is the best thing you can do.
Mash that motherfucking retweet button.
Any given moment. If you see that MSM has grand finals between Elegant and Zenu and they have a Luigi Mario gif, retweet that. If you see Ignition with Zero in grand finals for the 90th time against 8-inch, retweet that. If you see a PG Stats article that makes you flame and just burn in agony because you hate it, retweet that. If you see a Smashboards article, retweet that. If you see a tournament with a bracket, retweet that. If you see anything, just retweet it. It's so important for visibility. People just think that, oh, I don't need to retweet this because someone else is going to, or like everyone already sees this anyways. But it's just so important for everything.
Yeah, so that's probably the easiest way. The simplest, just like I'm at my school lunch and I'm checking Twitter real quick and I'll retweet some things and done. But there's other stuff you can definitely do beyond that. I mean, you can, at a baseline, like SSB World, great website. Like if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. They just started hosting articles and stuff. So you can definitely like put up some articles. You can mod chats for someone.
You can make a mock PGR. Trent eSports did that and he met some really good discussion. Like, you don't have to think that, oh my god, if I like make like a mock PGR, I'm gonna like step on their toes. Like, no, like in the real world, like the NFL has their own rankings and like fans make things all the time and they make predictions and it's good fun.
There's like 40 YouTubers about the draft.
Yeah, and they get like 100,000 views just talking shit. Like, that can all be content for the community, content for people to consume, content for like anybody who doesn't know about the scene to just like kind of like stumble on. Like, make content if you can. That's a hard one, obviously, because it has to be well executed. But you know, even if your content's a blog, like that's big. Like, even if you don't go to tournaments or anything, like you can still write about them. Like, that's no one does. And the issue with people doing that is that like people think there's nothing in it for them, and like there honestly isn't at the moment. Like Smashboards faces that a lot of times, but if it's someone like you that can do it in their free time, like that helps regardless. It brings
especially
exposure.
Yeah, you're watching these tournaments and you can just like, even if you just write a quick recap and it takes you 20 minutes and it's basically a 5-paragraph essay, like that's still something for, you know, people to read and people to engage in the game that they're trying to really appreciate.
Yeah. And the thing is that if you did have money, like I would suggest like subscribing to tournaments and blah, 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 but you don't, and that's fine. And if you can't visit them personally to like buy merch or anything, that's also fine. But the biggest thing is just making the visibility higher for anybody online. Like even sharing it to your friend. Like I've told my barber, I've told like family, friends before, like, yo, watch this stream or like watch this trailer. And they're like, whoa, what is that? I want to go now. I want to see it. Like I took my girlfriend and her friend to PAX East 2017 to watch the PAX Arena with Zero and everybody, and like they loved it. They didn't know anything, but they loved it, and that's important. You know, more eyes, more impressions. So
right. So there's
as much as you can.
There's the content creation. There's just being even if it's a tiny voice, a voice to like here's some stuff, here's a retweet, whatever. Or, like a really easy one is just like help mod a chat.
Literally, help mod a chat.
Watching the tournament, help mod the chat. Like, whatever. Just like if you're a regular in chat, be vocal, let the streamer know you're there and be like, hey, I really want to help mod. Message them and then just help out. Like, it's a really simple thing that if you're already watching, like, why not?
Yeah. So that'll pretty much cover it, Victor. We would just beat this esports horse to death if we went more on that. Plus, we're over time. So that'll be it for the runback this week. Please make sure to send your runback questions to us at Gmail at thesetcount@gmail.com or on Twitter through DM at thesetcount is the handle. Or just reach out to Sage or me personally, Suar, on Twitter, if you want to talk to us about a question you've been maybe thinking about, or maybe an idea. We're always looking to listen. We're always looking to explore new avenues. So make sure to hit us up next week if you want.
Yeah, we have a good bank.
We have a bank.
We have a bank
now. There was a day where we had to there was literally a day at the very beginning where we had to make up questions because we didn't have any. But now people, they want to know. They want to know what we think. So we want to know what you think. So make sure you check us out.
Yeah, so that'll be it for the set count, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. I think we've encroached upon at least 1,000 listens a week, which is across all platforms, which is really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Hopefully we continue to grow and we continue to bring you guys a great show. We're available on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, SoundCloud, all the good podcast feeds. So definitely, if you haven't, show your friends, show your family, show your dog, whoever you can get to listen to it. We appreciate it. But
and that'll be it. Go ahead and sign us out.
All right, guys. This has been one of your hosts, Sage.
And Panaglobal Suar.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.